Good afternoon, teachers. Now, in 7th standard, the focus was on turtle graphics. So, initial 7 lesson plans. Am I correct? After that, it was advised do not make use of the turtle graphics. What we were supposed to use after lesson plan 7? Pictures, entirely pictures, and each standard starts from there. Okay? You cannot make use of any turtle graphics when you come to 8th standard. It is entirely starting from pictures. Anything that you have to draw has to be a picture. Now, when we start with the picture, there is one command called picture command itself, which gives you. Okay? Now, when you start with the picture command, there is something called as from path. Have we made use of it? How many have used this from path? Please raise your hand. How many have used from path command?
A few times.
Okay. So we are to make use of this command, from path command. How to make use of it? We'll see here. It is very easy. Just pay attention. Do not put on your laptops, nothing. For now, just pay attention. Okay, we'll do it together. First, we have the definition, right? How do we define? F shape. It is a picture. Am I right till here? Yes. Of the value picture. Correct? Now, when we come over here and put a dot, it gives you all the functions that are there inside picture. And one of that is from path. Clear?
Yes.
When you use this from path, it will ask you to start. The very first command is x dot move path. Do not write. This is all there. This is there in your systems. Do not even write. Just pay attention and understand command. Okay? The very first command that I want to type is move path. That is the start point. Always. So that tells me what should be the start point over here. So if I am drawing this, my start point should be this. Correct? So what is that point? 100, 100. The next command over there is x dot line 2. Why? Because I have to draw a line. Right? And that line is from 100, minus 100. First point, then I draw the line. Next, I have to draw this arc. So what do we do?
X dot R.
X dot arc. Parameters for arc. First you have to give the x point. Then you mention what is the y point. And finally you give the angle. Okay? This is the syntax how you want to write. Now what are the values? Looking at the picture there.
And for line 2 also it's x comma y.
Yeah, for line also it is x comma y. Okay? Clear up till here?
Move it is a point.
Yes, move is a fixed point.
It's a
Move to that particular point. Right? For move, it is a fixed point. For line 2, it is again x comma y, a point. R, x, y and the angle. So over here, what is x? Minus 100. Y. Up till here I want the R. 100. And what is the bounding angle? 90. clockwise, anti-clockwise. Do you remember what it should be?
Minus 90 clockwise and 90.
So if I want this is clockwise, right? So it should be minus 90. Easy? Has everyone understood up till here?
X point or minus
minus 100 ఉంటుంది नीचे गुजरात
Down.
आणि
X is here
But-
and Y is here. So between these 2 points, you are drawing the arc. For that, I will give you one example here. See, whenever we are talking about the arc, remember
no, but X point.
we have a compass, right? See,
X is
if we think that this is the point, fixed point,
yes
and you are drawing the arc by moving from one point here to next point there. So that arc is the one that is being drawn.
x 100 ఉంటుంది
X positive 100.
Sorry, it is positive because I have written dash over there. Yeah, it is positive.
X, X.
x
X.
so x minus
X.
करेला
But that is
that is minus that is minus y is minus
Correct? Correct? Minus 100.
2 minus 100.
Bounding arc that you are drawing has x, it has 1. Okay, we'll try this out. We'll try it out. Try the same in your laptops. Try it out. Try it out and let me know.
Control space 1.
There.
Use control space 1. You can automatically.
last is x dot close path. At the end, when you finish, you have to close the path that you started by using x dot close path. So that it completes. So when you put x dot close path, I will show it. Everyone is getting the curve? Yes. Any doubts here? Okay, so if the first one is here,
Just explain why that minus 100 for x are. It's like a formula in turtle. We are going to x dot without
this command
the new command which I on the previous command. So you guys like no here last time we just close button.
see, it was correct. XR is minus 100, 100. So we come to this point. Previous command's last point was here. Right? Now, when we come to from path, always remember, it takes the last point as the beginning of the next point. Okay? Remember this. This is very important. When you go to the next command, which is a new command, it takes as the input the previous command's last output. I mean the last coordinates that you have given will be the input to the next command. Okay? So as for that, the last point was here. The new point I give is here. Correct? So the arc is getting drawn from this point to here, and when I say close path, only then this line is getting drawn. Otherwise, it is up till here, the line and the arc.
So if we compare
And instead of that, what we can say is that x is there, no? So that is your starting point, and 100 is your end point.
Correct.
Yeah.
Teacher,
So why it's
Yes, yes.
comment that last close path, then we will not be able to see the line.
Yes. Unless you put the x dot close path, you will not see the closing line.
Yes.
Only when you put the close path, it will close. And where does it close? It goes to the starting point.
And
It
O2
goes
is just like a
starting point. Any doubts? Close path automatically. Whoever not started, they will have to join.
तुझं 100
Teacher, here comment the second last. Teacher, comment the second last also. And get the syntax of x dot r.
That you can get without that. Yeah. Use control space.
Yeah.
End point of x, end point of y, angle of y.
Yeah.
Always use control enter.
का बेटा दो क्या
Similarly, if I have to draw the second triangle, which you see, isosceles triangle, what would be the steps? What will be the steps for this?
X move to 0, 0.
X dot move to
0, 0.
0. This point here.
100 and 0.
So X dot line to 0, 150, right?
Yes.
Again, X dot line to 100, 0. Am I correct? And after that, X dot close path. Are we all on the same line?
Yes.
Getting the correct figure now?
0, 0, 0.
Done? Similarly, for the last isosceles triangle over here,
Teacher, wait.
this is the first isosceles. The second one we are yet to do. This is away from the center. So let's start with this. X dot move to. What will be X dot move to here? Minus 100, 0. Correct? Then X dot line to what will it be?
Minus 100.
Minus 100, 150. Again, X dot line to minus 200, 0. And then X dot close path. Are we all getting it?
Wait, teacher.
Yes.
Minus 100.
Always remember to make use of the shortcuts. Do not type.
Right? Second, 100 for the minus.
Isosceles triangle.
Second,
minus 100.
minus 100.
Second line.
Last program, second line. Last program, second line.
Minus 100.
So getting it? So this is the second triangle. After which, for the third one, there was only a change of coordinates. Third one. Are we all on the same line? Yes. Anybody having doubts here? Now comes our practice, for which I will give you around 4 pictures, which you have to do 5 minutes to each picture max. It's very easy, right? You all already know which commands to use. You have to only change the coordinates and get the pictures. I will show you. Not this, don't worry. Start.
These both are here.
Yes, both. You can see the points also clearly. You don't have to create separate tests for every shape that you see. What you could simply do is just create one def as in here and go on typing your shapes. One, then the moment you get the first one, comment it, start typing the second one. Okay? And even if you keep it, there is no problem. Even if you uncomment and keep your shapes, there is no problem. Absolutely. Okay? And give one common draw shape. So all your shapes will be shown. Whichever one you are going on currently with it, let that be on. Rest you can comment. Am I clear on this? You do not have to rewrite the defs again and again. Just one def, put all the shapes in.
Increase the angle, it becomes little.
Teacher.
Yes. Now, second one.
Yeah.
आता पिक स्टेप करवायची
Now, next step Those who have not finished, click the photo of this because the slide is getting changed. Sweet dish. After lunch, sweet dish. उधर तुमको रसा विचारायला नाही मी आईस्क्रीम ऑनलाइन. So now throw the ice cream.
This one now?
Yeah.
This one?
This two. First one is half the shape. I mean, it is a cloud. Second one is cloud changing to an ice cream. Extension of the first one. At the time of declaring the definition of this function, you have to give the syntax correct of the the contract. You have to make, you remember when I mentioned in the morning, see here, when I said dash shape colon picture, the contract has to be correct. Equals picture dot from part, and then I am writing the entire command. Okay? And if it is not returning anything, you have an empty bracket there. Picture with empty bracket. Open and close. Done with this? Now, there are two important notes that you have to remember. First note, in 7th standard, LP 10 onwards, only picture graphics have to be used. Total graphics have to be used till LP 9 only. Second note, in 8th standard, only pictures have to be used.
You give the instruction will be one.
I'll share the PPT with you. Then more questions we'll touch later. Before that, we will cover what is the next part. Now, what do you see on the board? It's a curve. Can anybody tell me what is the difference between an arc and a curve? What is the difference between an arc and a curve? Why there are two separate commands?
Curve is bend.
So does arc. See, arc is the path on a circle. Okay, that is the most important point here. Arc is any part or any path on the circle, while curve is free. Yes, but this is important for you. Yeah, arc is on the circle, path on a circle. That you have to remember. Okay. So now, what would be the difference over here for curve? Instead of line 2, I will have x dot curve 2. Okay? And there are 4 parameters that are coming for curve 2. The first is the, see, under move 2, you are giving the start.
Teacher, just wipe out the other things on the board. Let us focus on only curve.
Okay, try curve 2. After x dot move 2, put curve 2 and check how many parameters you have to enter there. 6.
We need to practice.
Now,
Let me just.
okay, simple curve. Now, when I say x dot curve 2, you told me that there are 6 parameters that are coming. Always arrange all your parameters like this first. That is set of 2, 2, 2. Okay, that is the first step. Clear? Your parameters have to be placed in 2, 2, 2s.
Yeah.
The first 2 over here, as I mentioned to you, is the start. Correct?
Yeah.
The next set over here which you see, minus 100, comma minus 100, 100, comma 100 are the control points of the curve. Please make a note of this. These 2 sets that you see here are the control points of the curve. And the last one is the end point of the curve. What I mean by control points on the curve, start of the curve is minus 200, comma 0. All agree? End of the curve, last point is 200, comma 0. Agreed? So these 2 points are clear. Now, how I want my curve to bend? That is exactly what is told by the control points. So I want one side it to go down, the other side it should be pulled up. So I need 2 control points. The first one is minus 100 to minus 100. Remember, your curve which is drawn is never going to touch these 2 points. Okay? The curve will never touch these 2 points that you are giving as a control point. Similarly, over here, 100, 100 is the control point, but it will not touch either of the 2 points. It is going to be giving a curve in between the 2. Clear? Is curve clear?
Just explain.
Yeah, I'll come to this. First, is this part clear? What is control points? Now, in Kojo, we have 2 types of curve. That is quadratic and cubic. Okay? When we say quadratic, it means it will give you only one control point. How? Do we know the full form or the formula for a plus b the whole square? You need not remember this. Neither you are going to teach this. This is only for your information so that you remember why there is a control point.
2ab plus b
A square plus 2ab
plus b square.
plus b square. So if you see, there is only one term which involves ab here, and hence this is only one control point. Can somebody tell me what is a plus b the whole cube expansion?
A cube plus 3ab plus 3ab square plus b cube.
Here there are 2 terms involving AB. Hence, there are 2 control points. So, which curve are we studying? Cubic. Okay? Clear on this? Any doubts? What is a curve? What is an arc? What are the control points? We are learning cubic. Okay? Now coming to the code over here. First line tells you where it has to start. So x dot move to minus 200, 0. That is the start point. This is the end point. Agreed?
Yes.
The 2 in between are the control points. And that gives you the curve here. Clear? I will explain how to put that in Pixtec, how to give it a color after some time. Let Sir address the chapter. Coming back to the curves. So is the start point of the curve end point of the curve and control points. Very clear? No. Any doubts with the control points? See, as I mentioned, the first point that you have is your start point. Minus 200, comma 0. Last point that you have 200, comma 0. So minus 200, 0, and the two control points over here, one is from minus 100, minus 100, 100, 100. Okay? 100, 100 is this point, minus 100, minus 100 is this point. Am I clear on this? Yes. So these two control points are stretching the curve. One downwards, one upwards. Clear? So now, given this curve, can we rotate this curve and make a flower? Just go on rotating this curve. See, it's like this, no? Just rotate it. And make a flower out of it. To do that, what we'll have to do is, we'll have to create a fixed text. Right? Fixed text, is everyone aware of it? Yes. So I had mentioned about it in the last class, right? So what happens for a fixed text? You compose all the pictures together in one fixed text. Right? Now, since I wanted this curve to be reused, what did I do? I used it and created another shape with a rotation. So shape 1 is nothing but the basic shape that is rotated by 90. Again I am using another shape 2, rotation by 45. Shape 3, rotation by minus 45. And finally the main pattern, that is flower, which is composed with all these shapes. So I have used a fixed text there and made a composition. So shape 1, shape 2 are all used here. Complete the flower now. I have shown you one curve, no? The second curve is not shown. That you have to do and complete and make it a flower. Already, see, it's ready here. Okay? See. I have shown you one side of the curve. Second side of the curve you have to do.
ते सध्या यूज करून तो यूज करून ना सध्या हे यूज करून
Start for teacher Maya. See. Extension of the same. Yeah. See. Okay. So this is all possible. Strip down here also. Using the same curves, all this is possible. And much variation now. Previously what we saw, again a variant of it. See. Okay, now let us check what we had done for the crow. Can somebody tell me how did we come back to the origin? When we started to draw the crow, right? See, crow was it was like this, right? Yes. So that means you started the curve, you went back here. But then to draw this, did you come back to the start position or not? Yes. So in order to come back, what did you use? Move. Is using move the correct option? How many have you used move?
Or fractal,
Is move the correct option?
No.
Now, fill color into it. You will know why move is wrong to be used while drawing the crow. Where you have drawn crow, no? Fill color to the crow. You will yourself know why not to use move to return back to the path. And you have to tell me why we should not make use of the move there. Not. See, using move, no doubt you get it, but now if I fill it with color, what happens to the crow? She has rotated the flower also. Decoration, Ganpati decoration. Wow. Now what she has done? Oh, if we use move to, are you all getting the similar crow? Is this the correct crow to be drawn? No. So now, what you have to use is get back to the original arc position. When you want to retract, get back to the arc only. Do not use move to suddenly there, because it will track back while you are coloring. Remember the small tips. Okay? So since you have taken the arc and gone ahead, come back with the arc only. Fine? Now when you use arc, is there any problem when you fill the color? It will show you the crow as is. Clear? Traverse back. But what you have used move to. Move to is coming directly to that point. But if you fill color, what will happen? It will get the color back. Are you understanding? Whereas if I use arc is going to the same point, coming back in the same arc only. It is not following the color trend. Yes. Clear? So when you are starting with the arc, come back using arc only. Now notice the change. Check what happens. Because it is coming back to the same point. Yeah. Done by you all, right? So this was the second one. Okay. So just remove the field part. This was the second one. Any doubts with the second? This was your cloud. This was the cloud. The last one. Filled with shape. Right? Any doubts with all these shapes? Is everyone able to get them? Okay. And then provide the vertex point, that is the start vertex. Okay. The next we have is using the vertex shape. Just like how we started with from path, we are starting with from vertex shape now. It is no picture. That you can put here. That you can put here. So like this you are saying. Yeah. Okay. So if you want to do this you are saying, right? Yeah. It's a contract. It's a good practice what you suggested. Correct. So now over here, for the from vertex shape, it begins with x dot begin shape. Just like how you had x dot move path in the morning, right? X dot move to. Similar to move to, we have x dot begin shape. X dot vertex is the first vertex point that we have. So if you notice, x dot vertex minus 100, minus 50. So minus 100 is here, minus 50 is over here. So this point. Now we are starting with Bezier vertex. Bezier vertex again has two control points, 0, 50, 0, minus 50. So 0, 50 is the upside point, 0, minus 50 is the downside of it. So you have up, down. So these are the two control points using which you can control your curve. And this is the end point, 100, minus 100. Same structure like how it was dealt with previously. 2, 2, 2 on every row. When you put Bezier vertex, you get in one line the 6 points. Make sure the first step that you start with is align 2, 2, 2. Am I clear? So the first two rows are your control points. Before that, what you have is the start point, x dot vertex over here. This is the start point. End point comes at the last. Notice there is no comma at the end. Okay? Previous to that, everywhere there is comma. This is the last point, so there is no comma. Directly and the bracket. Clear?
Teacher, just wait. We are writing some information in comment.
Okay. So for the first curve, I have used 0, minus 50, 0, 50. So I get this first curve. Similar to that, I have drawn the second curve, 125, minus 10. So where should it begin? The control points are 125, minus 10. So it will come somewhere over here. 125 is somewhere here. 125 comma minus 10. So minus 10 is right on top over here, somewhere over here. 280 comma minus 70. So 280 is almost to the end. Second control point is here. Minus 70 below 50. So somewhere down over here. So the second curve is getting controlled here in this range. And the last point for the second curve is 300 comma minus 100. 300 is here, x point, minus 100, y point. See, just like how we had control points to the curve, no? Over here also control points are the same. You give the start points first. Okay? That is outside. Inside Bezier, what you have are the two control points that you have to mention. Okay? And the first control point, you have given it to the maxima. Second control point you have given it to the minima. Or if you want, you can have both as maximum also. All this is through the two control points that you are using. So try changing those values and see where your curve starts. But again, it will never touch these two control points. Are you following? The maximum and the minimum are the limits. It is not going to touch these 2 points. In between, it is going to draw the curve. Any doubts? Inside Bezier curve, the 2 points that we mentioned, right? Try changing the 2 points. You will get the variations there itself. See, x dot vertex, and you are giving the starting point here. After that, you are mentioning Bezier vertex. Inside this Bezier vertex, you have set of 2 control points. Correct? The first control point will define the first part of it. Now, again after the second control point, you may use it to define either maximum or minimum depending on what you want to draw. If you are planning to draw a bird like this, this is all using curves. Unless you try drawing, you will not understand. So it is all using the control points that you have in your Bezier curves. It will not touch. The 2 points that you give here, right? If you say 200 comma minus 100, it will limit itself between these points, but it will never touch them. This point will be located 200 comma minus 100 somewhere here. But the curve will go inside it. It will never touch it. Similarly, if I say 100 comma minus 50, so somewhere here, or let's say minus 100 comma minus 50. So if this is minus 100 plus 50, somewhere over here, it will go through it, but it will not touch the point. Clear? Any doubts with the Bezier curve? See, you are giving x dot vertex. That gives the starting point, right? After that, you are saying x dot Bezier vertex, correct? And over here, you are giving the 2 control points and the end point, right? The 2 control points that you mention over here. That is the first point. X dot vertex is the point. That is the start point. Bezier vertex च्या भीतर आम्ही control points दिता आणि end point दिता. Control point 1, control 0 comma 50, 0 comma minus 50. Okay, now see. So when I say 0 comma 50, the first point is here. 0 comma minus 50, the second point is here. Okay, so your curve that has started somewhere at minus 200, this point, it will go in between the two, but it will not touch. Okay.
It is not in between, perfectly in middle.
Not perfectly in middle. It averages itself and draws the curve. 100 comma minus 100 is the end point. I have not shown that there. I have shown it per se. You can show it. Okay, if you want me to draw it exactly as per this. तुले 5 सांगतो ही जी लिमिट दिली जाईल त्याला 5 okay, it is not touching any of those two. Minus. So end point is over here. But it will touch the end point. It will not touch in between control points.
minus 18.20. Let's do the calculation.
That limits you try. You try the limits yourself, you will come to it. If you see it on the board, you will not understand. Again, I repeat, you have to try it out yourself. Put the Bezier vertices, try to increase it by one more vertex and see if you can complete the vertex. See, for this particular curve, the start point is here, end point is here, in between are the control points. One control point, second control point. Can you see the two control points for this board now? Okay? This is only to get familiarized with what is control points. Start point asa, end point asa, in between, control the curve, we are using the control points. See here, this is how the board should be.
Just go back to coach. So 125 comma minus 10. For the second x Bezier curve, x dot Bezier vertex 125. I want to see that point. 125 comma minus 10 is over here.
125 comma minus 10 will be somewhere here. 125 comma minus 10. So it is somewhere here.
Okay, 300 comma
280 comma minus 70 will be somewhere here. So it is for this in between gap that you see, that pull up of the curve.
that is vertically and this is horizontally, something like that.
No, it is both. Both the points are here. See, 125 comma minus 10 somewhere here it is. Somewhere here. It is not marked. It is only giving you the limits because start point you have already mentioned minus 100 comma minus 50.
And 280 is
Second control point is 280 comma minus 70. So it is somewhere here. 280 comma minus 70. Somewhere here. And the end point is 300 comma minus 100. 300 is here, minus 100 is here. So 300 comma minus 100 is the end point. In between, we are variating. So if you want to change it, let's change this to 250 and see where it draws. on how you want the curve, you change the point. Control points you have to change. You know your start, you know your
This
end.
side it's a wave and that side it will become a dome like thing.
That is because your start point and end point. In between that, you can vary the control points.
Both lines on the x-axis.
See, to avoid confusion, what you can do is remove the second point first. Run only the first point. There. Put only the first curve. Okay? Understand this curve first. Start point is minus 100, minus 50. So minus 100 is here, minus 50 is here. Clear with the first point? Last point is 100, minus 100. So 100, minus 100. This point. In between I need a pull-up. Right? In order to have a pull-up, I will first try with 0, let's say 10 and 0, minus 10 and check. It is giving me a wave kind of, but I don't want this. I want it to have a small head. So what I do, I go on increasing. I make it 20, I make this 20.
Teacher, make it 0, 0 everywhere. 0, 0.
If I do it 0, 0 everywhere, I will get only that point. This point. And why this is been drawn? Because the end point is mentioned. This is the start point, end point. In between there are no control points. Yeah, so you can find out which is the curve that you want exactly and frame based on the control points. Start point, end point you know. Based on what you are drawing. Right?
Wow, mountains. Mountains.
Mountains you can draw. You can complete the entire scenery using it. Okay? अब आता मैं कौन बेसियर वर्टेक्स करते हैं तो तुम्हें आनी वर्टेक्स
तीन
करना
डोंगर कर पहिली. आता तीन डोंगर कर on x-axis. याद रखी तीन डोंगर कर only on x-axis.
I have used the second
Start
one.
from minus.
Similarly, you will put more Bezier vertexes and complete the down part of the curve.
only x-axis साचेरच करूया. तीन डोंगर करूया.
Okay? Now we'll proceed with the next because we have hardly half an hour left and we have got quite a lot to finish. So this you will practice for your homework. Okay? This bird which is left pending now, you can complete as a part of your homework. Similar to the 2 points that are shown, you have to add more points. That I showed you, no? I showed you the Desmos output, right? The bird output. That I will share the screenshot, don't worry. The screenshot will be shared to you while giving the assignment. How it has to be done.
SB3 कर
SB3 हुआ बोलो. Okay.
we will put everything.
Next, why we are learning from path? Don't get scared looking at it. It's very easy. The only change is we are including MATH here, so it looks scary. You are a computer teacher, sir, no doubt about it. But without maths as a base, you cannot go ahead with the computers. Anything that you do has maths. Science also has maths. Science has an element wherein maths comes into it. So you do not have an escape. Okay, now in order to draw the polygons using the picture dot from path. In the morning we saw that we have to start for using the from path, we start from x dot move to. All are familiar with move to? Yes, no, maybe, may not be. So now, at the beginning we have only included this math dot underscore. This is like a header file. How we have in C programming include stdio.h. We have some header file. If we are using certain functions, we need to use that, right? So we are including this math dot so that whatever we will be doing, sine, cos, whatever we are going to use henceforth is already declared in this file. Otherwise, at every point we will have to put this math dot cos 2 radians. So in order to limit that, we are putting it at the header only. Don't worry, you don't have to code this. This file will be given to you. You have to use this file as is. Only change the values. Okay? You are not writing this code. There is a concept of starter files when you come to 8th standard, wherein the files will be given to you. You have to only change the values over there. But to change that value, you have to understand the concept. Okay? That's the only expectation.
So current papers.
So Kari Pebras that is a different topic. Let's focus here for now. Shape from path. So picture dot from path as we have done in the morning. X dot move to, we are saying 100 into, I'll show you the output. Okay, before I proceed, can somebody tell me what this code is going to do? By looking at it, what do you think it is going to do or draw?
Move somewhere.
What it will draw?
A line.
Square or rectangle? Square or rectangle?
Square. Pentagon.
Who
Rectangle.
said that? It is going to draw a pentagon. Teacher,
72.
Rohini, guessed it correct. Why teacher?
5 points.
Yes, because she saw this 72 and it is incrementing in that 72's multiples only. Right? So it is going to draw a pentagon. From path helps us to draw all sort of polygons that we want to draw. Okay? In the morning we saw how to draw triangles, isosceles triangles. Now we are seeing further pentagon. Now when we are coming to pentagon, now this 100 is nothing but the distance. For example, if you have an angle, don't get scared. I'm just using this as an aid. Okay, this you can be clean slate after this, no problem. Now whenever we want to find by how much this particular point has moved, okay, what we will have to do? I want to know by how much this point has moved further somewhere over here. Do you all agree that I will have to move it? The value over here times this distance.
Teacher, just rub everything. Just rub everything.
So now, if I have to move a point from its original position to somewhere else, what I will have to do? If it is at a distance 100, I will have to move it elsewhere. So I basically what I have to do is 100 into cos of theta. Right? Same thing we are doing over here. If I move a point from one place to the other, what I will have to do? 100 into cos 0 to radians. Why I have to put? Because I want it in radians. I don't want it in degrees. What is 360 degree in terms of radians? It is 2 pi. 360 degree in radians is 2 pi. Correct? So now I have to cover 0 to radians. Radians, just remember that it is in the form of pi's. Okay? Similar to that, I have to also use sine. 100 into cos, 100 into sine will be the new point that I get. When I drift the point from its original position to a new position, the new point's values will have to be multiplied by the distance that was mentioned. So 100 into cos, 100 into sine. That will give you your first point. Okay? It is okay even if you don't remember anything of this. Just remember that you have this file here. Okay? It's a starter file. You have to only change the points and see what output it gives you. Next is x dot line 2. I am drawing a line. Now this time the angle is 72. Okay? After that it is 144, which is a multiple of 72. So I am incrementing it in order of 72. And I am drawing lines everywhere. And what it gives me? It gives me a pentagon from the center. Was this drawing easier with turtle graphics? Was it even possible to draw it from the center? Was it even possible to draw it from the center? This pentagon is drawn from the center if you observe. This is the only way that you can draw it from the center. Okay? That is the reason it has been given as a starter file for you. Clear? Because children may come up and ask you how to draw it from the center. When you are drawing it from the turtle's position, you should also be aware how to draw it from the center. So this file would be given to you. Clear? You have to only know how to change the angles and get rest of the polygons. So for pentagons it is 72. What will it be for hexagon? 60. Okay, before that, now if I try to join point number 1 with point number 3, point number 2 with point number 5 and point number 4 with point number 1, what do you think I will get? Star. Correct. I will show. So I have joined the in-between points, or every alternate point if you join, what you get is a star. So what I have done to join the points? Nothing. Just rearrange your points. I have already marked over here which is point 1, which is point 2. Correct? I have only reordered them. Point number 1 जातो कर, point number 3 हाडून paste कर. Point number 2 असा त्याचं कर, point number 3 to 5, 5 to 2. So just place the lines accordingly. Can you do this? You have to only reorder the points. 5 remains with you, points remain with you. You have to only shuffle the points. Point 4 is there, down. Okay? Yeah, files will be shared, don't worry. After this, what if I want that star to be like a perfect Christmas star? Now currently it is direct lines, no? I want it to be like a perfect Christmas star with that kind of bulging out. What will I have to do, you think? curves I like to introduce. But instead of curves, what is better? Still better? Arcs. Because it will be on the path of a circle. So for that, what is the only change I like to do? X point remains as is, Y point remains as is. I am only including the angle now. Okay? X dot arc we have already seen in the morning. Yes?
Yes.
I am only including the parameter, last parameter over here. Has the star changed? Is it become a perfect star now? Christmas star? So line dot 2 was there. Over there I put x dot r. Okay? Wherever there was line dot 2, in the first case I change it to x dot r. Clear? And for the syntax of arc I use the angle there. Now what if I change that positive 50 to negative 50? What should happen you think?
It will like this.
Concave? Let's check. Got a new shape there. With just one change. Positive 50 to negative 50. Correct? Now, what if I have to draw an equilateral triangle? You can embed polygon inside another polygon. Initially we were trying to embed star within a circle. Now we are trying to embed equilateral triangle within a circle. Correct? So that is about composing different pictures. So we had triangle. For triangle there are only 3 points. Right? So instead of all the points that we had written, I have retained only first 3 points. And what is the angle change? 0, 120, 240. Correct? Because it is incrementing in terms of difference of 60, 60. Right?
120.
120. Yes. 120, 120. Clear?
आणि पॉइंट केलेला तिच्या स्टार
Star already केलं नाही. Circle घातलं.
6 पॉइंट स्टार असले
Circle is there. Circle
6 पॉइंट स्टार 5 पॉइंट now we can say under 6 point star
See, this is your plane equilateral triangle. Correct? With the 3 points that you had seen. Point number 1, point number 2, point number 3. Rest of the points I have removed. Okay? After that, I am defining a circle over here. And I am using a fixed tag. And in that fixed tag, I have given the triangle with the circle. Circle is drawn directly. See, circle is with picture dot circle. Triangle is with the 3 points. I have embedded it using fixed tag. Over here. Fixed tag for the triangle and the circle. And that is how I have embedded the two. Circle is drawn over here. All these are circles. I will show you why I have made use of different circles here. What do you think this is going to draw? I've used 4 circles. Then there is something called triangle inside circle. Will it draw concentric circles only? Just check the fixed edge. Huh?
With triangle inside.
So there are circles
Circles with colors.
and there is some pattern there. Pattern 1. So pattern 1, if I trace where that pattern 1 is, pattern 1 takes me over here. So what is this? If you remember,
Pentagon.
just check this point.
Star.
Star here. So what do you think should be the output?
Concentric circle with
Concentric circles with
star.
embedded star in it.
Embedded.
And what is it forming? What is this? Captain America's logo, no? That shield.
Logo.
Okay.
Picture over this.
How we have done this? Using the starter file. The starter file in सगळे points असा. What is our role? Rearrange to get the circle. Point number 1 with the alternate. Point number 3. 2, 5. 2, 4. 3, 5. But make sure it follows the loop. 1 to 3, 3 to 5, 5 to
2.
So we will get the points, means whatever you have told orally.
you are getting this file only.
Okay.
You will get this file.
The written statements.
No, you will get this file. You will have to modify it. Like what I have given the instructions is for that. That is why I was telling you to concentrate.
If you have got a file right now,
Hmm.
you have written in the comments what it is. Going home na, on the way we are
You will
just
get it
work
today
out.
only. I'll upload it today.
हाँ.
After the session, I'll upload. Once I'm back home.
Picture upload for comments.
आता त्याच केलं नाही 1, 3, 5 बघ.
1, 3, 3, 10, 3, 5.
Point number 1, point number 3. This is for the star. This I've rearranged. Point of star. This was the first. Just hold on. See, your query is to redo it. Now see, this is the original file. Point number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What it gives us is a pentagon. Right? All agree? Then I asked you, if I rearrange those pentagon points, what it gives me? So I have rearranged it like this. Point number 1, असा कसो full line copy कर. Point number 1 ची. त्याच्या उपरांत point number 3 घाल. Don't change anything. त्याच्या उपरांत point 3 connects to 5. 5 connects to 2. And 2 connects to 4. Once you do this, just draw pattern. Pattern 1, which is for the star. Before that, I will have to end this. There are many things that are. Wait, triangle is coming out. That is also. Somewhere it is uncommented.
Pattern 1 is open.
Pattern 1 is the one that I need to show.
Draw triangle with the
Draw triangle is also.
Yeah.
Draw triangle. There is one more draw triangle.
Wait.
draw circle, triangle.
Separate. Draw.
This is the one that is.
And touch us.
Run it.
No. So, draw pattern 1 name.
Pattern 2 not first.
Pattern 1.
See,
Ishwari,
Once you join those points, 1, 3, 5, 2, sorry, 3, 5, 2, 4, you get, see 1, 3, 5, 2 and 2, 4, you get a star. Done? Then I ask you, what are we to do if what we will get if we change that last plus 50 to minus 50. So we get a star that is curved kind of, right, bulging, which is a perfect Christmas star. Then this is now because there is something
Minus 20.
this is minus 50. So it is opposite, taking opposite.
You just show the right side.
Right click, otherwise right click, decrease font.
Control minus.
Okay?
Yeah, close that part.
Pattern 1, pattern 2, pattern 3, clear? Pattern 3 is this. Pattern 4, I asked you to draw an equilateral triangle here. Simple equilateral triangle from the center. So it has only 3 points. 1, 2, 3. And angle difference कितने? 120, 120, 120. So after that, I asked you to form a composition of the shapes wherein equilateral triangle is to be put inside the circle. Okay? For that, I have already defined a circle here. Picture dot circle. Give the radius that we all are aware. Inside this, I have to put the circle. There. Okay? Now if you want to rotate, that also is possible. So you get a perfect rotated rectangle, rotated equilateral triangle. Okay? Then using that same, I am drawing a logo. The pattern that we had drawn previously, that is the star and the concentric circle. Using the two, I am coming up to this logo. Clear? And the same pentagon that was shown using from path can be drawn using from vertex. That was just taught. From vertex, how to use was just taught. So instead of move to begin shape, x dot vertex, just like how we have done for that bird. Same way. X dot begin shape, x dot vertex, put all the vertices. Basically, instead of that, directly you are using the points. 1 point. But this is not to be emphasized because this you may skip. This is little difficult to understand initially. But this is there in the file. This you may skip. Okay? The last one, shape from vertex. But before that, whatever is there, that you can show. Okay? So in the homework, what you have to draw is using the same Nike logo. So you will use curve, just yes symbol it is. Don't write the text, only the right symbol. I will show you the homework for the day. Using from path, anything that you want you can use. But complete the logo. From path you can use. If you are comfortable using from vertex, you can use that. Either of the two. Huh?
Tomorrow's homework.
Tomorrow's homework coming up for you. This is simple curves, huh? Very simple it is.
It will come on Moodle, no?
This will come on Moodle. Yeah, this will be sent on Moodle. Now what you will use is up to you. Whether you are going to use Bezier vertex, you are going to use from path, You are going to use from vertex. Up to you. That liberty I give you. But make sure you practice and complete. This is the first one. The second one. This is coming in Prerna. Don't worry. This will be there in Prerna. This picture is also given. This also. This I really do it exactly because they will be connected. This is very easy. This is very easy. Yeah, this is the simplest.